Hello and welcome back to another episode of Tyler's Tiger Talk. I haven't made a video in a few days. I meant to make a video reacting to UAB. I've just been busy again and just trying to catch up on some stuff. But yes, LSU takes down UAB in a great fashion. 41-10. And you just saw our offense explode. Total change from the Arkansas game. Yes, it's a different opponent, a worse opponent, not an SEC opponent. But you still got that huge win, and you got that momentum to go in, and you play Texas A&M this Saturday, and you hopefully destroy them and show what your offense can do again. But in my last video, I talked about LSU versus the world, essentially. Because it is. It's right now, it's LSU versus the world. LSU gets that top 5 ranking, and everyone cries about it. Everyone's crying about it. I mean, who the hell else is gonna who the hell else is gonna get that top 5 ranking? Well, I mean, let me know. I don't know. Tennessee just got taken down by South Carolina, but 60 something points on Tennessee. Hendon Hooker got hurt late in the game, so you can't really say it's his fault for getting hurt, and because they still would have lost either way, really. But who? I mean, people love to bring this, but LSU lost to Florida State at the beginning of the season. And LSU got blown out at home by Tennessee towards the beginning of the season. Well, is this the same LSU team? No. Teams can change. People just don't realize how miraculous. Hard word for me. It is for a team to change so fast. Because when you see a team develop, you see it develop in a year, maybe 2, sometimes 3. It takes a long time for teams to develop under new coaching, new players, new staff, etc. This LSU team just has done it so fast that people really aren't understanding it. What I mean is, this LSU team has grown a foot. You know, sometimes when you start to get older and older, you have these growth spurts, right? Sometimes you might wake up and you grow in 3 inches, and then a few days later you grow 2 inches, and by the end of the year you've grown 2 feet, and people are like, whoa, that's not normal. You're not supposed to grow 2 feet in a year. That's what LSU's doing right now. They're growing very fast, and they're growing rapidly, and people aren't understanding. So they're bringing up losses like Florida State, which have been this year, but it's like they might as well have been 2 years ago, because this team has excelled at a rate that no other football team has in a while. This team has gotten good and very good. And then not only are you bringing up losses at this point, there's teams and people bringing up wins. The win against Arkansas, not pretty. LSU ran the ball most of the time. You go up to Gainesville, where it snowed the same day. It's cold. This team hasn't played in the cold. They haven't. They're not used to it. It's sunny in Baton Rouge right now. You know, it's been cool throughout the week, but right now it's 74, 75, whatever, and sunny. It's warm outside. I don't like to bring weather into the equation a lot, but it does have an effect. When it's rainy or cold, it's hard to throw the ball. It was rainy the other night. LSU did a good job of handling the ball. I mean, you know, John Emery had 2 fumbles, but that's more of his problem than it is the team's problem, because you didn't see that. But in certain situations, the scores are going to look different. Look what happened with Georgia and Missouri. People don't like to bring that up. Or even Georgia and Kentucky. I mean, they beat them only by 10 points and struggled to score on them. I mean, Alabama struggled to score on I don't even know the name of the damn team. And they struggled. They only had, it was 17 zip at half at one point. A team that it should have been, 60-0 at half. And Alabama struggled to score on them. So you're seeing these really good teams struggle to score, but you're going to get mad at LSU for being ranked top 5? Who the hell are you going to put USC at top 5? Tell me, who has USC beat? Let's pull up a USC schedule right now, actually. And I'm going to be reacting to another video today. But Yeah, and last video was LSU versus the world, and I got pretty heated because I was pissed. It's probably one of my most heated videos because it's just frustrating because people don't understand the concept of they get mad at the committee for just these decisions, but some of these decisions are actually smart. Like putting LSU at number 5, how is I don't understand the. And USC goes up against a really bad Notre Dame team who they could lose to. Um, USC barely escaped with a win at UCLA. I mean, let's see. Rice, Stanford, Fresno State, Oregon State, who they barely beat. Oregon State again, who they barely beat. I mean, uh, Arizona State, Washington State, Utah, who they lost to, the only top 10 team they played. Utah, who lost to Florida, who LSU dominated. I mean, Florida, who's been struggling and lost to Vanderbilt, and you're gonna complain about USC being below LSU. I mean, they lost to Utah, their only ranked opponent they played, and they got dumpstered. The only not ranked opponent they played, the top 10 opponent they played, and they got dumpstered. I mean, this LSU team has changed. It's rare for teams to grow as rapid as this LSU team has been growing, but it happens. And the success LSU has seen is because their ability not to give up and their ability to grow and listen and just be relentless in their football. And you've seen it. And people love the but well, LSU has a good win, that good win against Alabama, but it was only a 2-point conversion. Well, think about how hard a 2-point conversion is to get. You're essentially getting another touchdown. Like you're lining up to try to get another touchdown. I mean, it's not hard. And there were some fishy plays where it was like, LSU could have stopped a touchdown there, but it might not have been a great call on the official side. And I don't like to bring that up because I don't like to bring officials into it. But you have plays like that where it could have been LSU by a touchdown instead of LSU by a 2-point, but people love to bring the 2-point into it. It's just, Alabama missed an easy field goal against Tennessee, and Tennessee went back and got a field goal and won the game. So you can even throw, if you want to throw Tennessee's win out, you could even throw that one out. I mean, really. But LSU's gonna have to prove themselves until LSU beats Georgia in the SEC championship, which is gonna be hard to do. But as you've seen, Georgia has struggled the past year. It's definitely a possibility, and with LSU's growing defense and offense, it could be a win. It's not like we're saying LSU's gonna be dominated by Georgia because that's not the case at all. If you've seen LSU's defense the past few weeks, you've seen that they're ready to bring it to the table. Harold Perkins has been a huge name the past few weeks in college football. If he can shut down Stetson Bennett, Georgia really can't get anything going. I mean, I'm confident in LSU's ability and the defense ability to stop Georgia's offense and Stetson Bennett. I mean, people continue to bring up us barely beating Arkansas. We beat them by 3 points. Yes, but Arkansas played their best defense that they've had all season. I mean, Arkansas's defense looked very good, and LSU's offense just was off. You're coming off a big win of Alabama. That can sometimes happen to you. But all that aside, the rankings still don't matter. They don't. These college football rankings don't matter to me. I love that LSU's at number 5. It shows just how we've progressed throughout the season. But I don't give a shit that LSU's number 5 in the same sense that I don't give a shit that Georgia's number 1. Because if LSU beats Georgia in the SEC championship, the rankings change. And then you have LSU wherever they put LSU. Whether they put them at 3, 2, whatever, 4. I don't know. You still have TCU playing. They could potentially lose, and you're talking about a number 4 TCU who could potentially lose, and they almost lost to Baylor. They almost lost to Baylor. Not weeks ago, not in the beginning of the season, like people love to bring up against LSU. No, they almost lost to Baylor a week ago. I forget who they play again. I'm pretty sure it's Iowa State or something. Some team like that who they might lose to. Yes, Iowa State. They play Saturday, November 22nd, 3 p.m. They could potentially lose to them. We're talking about a number 4 team in the country who could potentially lose to Iowa State, who's probably a multi-loss team. I don't know Iowa State's schedule. 4-7. And they could potentially upset TCU. We're talking about teams like that. And then you're talking about how TCU should be ranked above LSU. And that's good. Good for TCU for being undefeated. But who the hell have they played? The same with USC. They played no one, and they still have a loss on their schedule. I don't know. LSU's going to need to prove it. They really are, and they're going to need to prove it in the SEC championship. Go and beat Texas A&M in a nice fashion. Finish off your season 10-2, and go to the SEC championship and show the country what you're about. And until that happens, until LSU I'm not saying they are going to win. I'm just saying until they do get that win against Georgia, no one's going to believe in LSU until that. And still, you're still going to have haters after that. You're still going to have people who are going to hate on LSU for being in the college football playoffs. Say we beat Georgia. It's just the way of the road. I'm about to show you a video right now of someone who complains that LSU's in that top 5 spot. Like, who the hell else are you going to put? It's amazing for me that TCU is in. Ohio State, Michigan's going to take care of itself. But we'll see what happens. You're talking about an LSU team who could potentially be ranked in the top 4 before they even beat Georgia. And what I mean by that is TCU could lose. Michigan and Ohio State. Either Michigan or Ohio State's going to lose, so you might have LSU replace one of them. It's a potential. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it's a potential. And I'm going to get into more playoff talk after I react to this video, but this video is so dumb. I need to remember my key to change scenes so you don't have to see all this, but we're going to react to this video. I've already seen this video, but if you haven't, let's just look at this goof. I mean, look at his face. Just a goofball. Let's watch him.
See what they cooked up. Up at the top, we have a pointless ranking of Ohio State and Michigan at 2 and 3. I get it. They're both undefeated, but okay. I mean, that's going to work itself out. Here's the one that bothers me. And if you know me, you know I take issue with the lack of logic in these rankings.
So what he's going to say, here what bothered me is LSU, obviously, because who the fuck would say anything different? Again, sorry for my language, but throughout the rest of the video, because this guy's face just makes me angry, I'm probably going to say a few swear words. This guy just pisses me off. I hate seeing his face. But yes, he's going to say the problem is LSU.
Not necessarily where the teams fall. Why is a 2-loss team that got blown out by a team that just got 62 points hung on them?
Well, my friend, I'm going to tell you why in the point I brought up in the beginning of the video. And again, if you're watching this and you're a Michigan, Ohio State, I don't know, Georgia fan, and you'd like to debate me, give me your contact in the comments below, because I'd love to debate anyone right now. But I think most, SEC fans and most normal people who have logic in their brain wouldn't want to debate me, because they realize that what I'm saying is right and what people like him are saying is wrong. He just doesn't understand. I'm pretty sure it says Seminole Executive Brief, so he's a FSU fan, so I get why he doesn't understand. He's from ACC, so he's from nobody conference, so he just doesn't understand.
By South Carolina, ranked ahead of a one-loss team.
But yeah, what I meant to say is, like I brought up in the beginning of the video, this team has rapidly changed throughout the season. They've gotten better and better at a really fast pace that no one understands. So they continue to bring up these losses to Tennessee and Florida State like they've happened yesterday. This team has changed. This is not the same LSU team that played Tennessee or FSU. They've gotten really, really good. And they've had to change offensive lines, and they've had to change the secondary and linebackers and this and that and special teams so they can finally find their complete finished art, their painting, right? When you're painting a picture, you have to find these colors and blend these colors so that you can finish the whole painting as a whole. I don't know how to describe it in a fashion for idiots like this guy, but this team has had a change, and no one understands this LSU team like an LSU fan because no one watches LSU like an LSU fan. This guy doesn't understand LSU. He's probably watched. I don't even know if he's watched an LSU game besides FSU and LSU. He's probably just seen and reacted to the scores, but not understood the game because this team has rotated and swapped and swapped almost every other game. It's a new team, and we finally found this formula to where this team has clicked, and it's a really good top 5 team. But this guy doesn't seem to understand that. All he just seems to understand is let's bring up this loss against Tennessee or Florida State, and that's what I'm gonna do. Like
that lost on a last-second play in a game in which said one-loss team had a higher than 50% post-game win expectancy. That doesn't make any sense. We saw LSU lose to Florida State. Yes, it was on a blocked extra point. However, they were.
You know what doesn't make any sense to me is how these things don't click in these people's minds. Like how things can change over a 10-week, 12-week, whatever, how many weeks it's been since the Florida State loss. How things can change. How teams can change. Things can change. I mean, this guy just doesn't make any sense to me.
Getting beat by a touchdown while Florida State was on the goal line, called a pitch play, fumbled the ball, and that's what put LSU back in it. Florida State makes their field goals that night. It doesn't even get that close. I'm not saying LSU isn't a good team. I'm not.
LSU muff punts. LSU, there's so much LSU did wrong because this was a new team that if they wouldn't have, they would have blown Florida State out. So I don't get his point there. That makes no point. That makes no sense. You can put it the other way around. So to use his logic, LSU could have done the same thing. I mean,
I'm not saying they're not playing good football, but then you watch them barely survive at Arkansas.
I've already made the point with Arkansas. You have teams like Georgia who barely survived against Missouri, who beat Kentucky by 10 points. I'm not going to go there with him, but it was a different LSU team coming off a huge win, going to a totally different environment, like I said, with weather. LSU ran the ball most of the time. Jane Daniels just didn't click. And look what Jane Daniels did last Saturday. I mean, he clicked and he threw dots. And it's not like he just threw against UAB. He was just throwing the ball up. No, he threw dimes. He was throwing absolute dimes. I mean,
you see they have 2 losses, and you put them ahead of a 1-loss team. Why? Well, because it makes the SEC championship game all that much more exciting. And we love our ratings, so why not?
And that's not why they did it. I'm sure that has some to do. Yes, it looks better, but again, sorry for profanity reasons, but USC just fucking sucks. They fucking suck, and they're going to lose to Notre Dame this season. I'm gonna call it already. They're gonna lose to Notre Dame this season, and I hope that guy just. I'm gonna go back to his video and see what he has to see when USC loses to Notre Dame. Because I haven't watched much USC and Notre Dame, but I'm so pissed at that guy that I'm just gonna call Notre Dame beating USC because I'm tired of the shit of these teams who've played nobody in a nobody conference. And they're one loss. That's not fair that LSU's ranked above them. Well, the community's got it right in the sense that they're gonna put the better team ahead, the team who's actually played something to loss or not. I mean, if LSU played Florida State tomorrow, it'd be domination. It'd be domination. I think most people could agree on that. If LSU played Tennessee tomorrow, I don't think it'd be domination, but I think LSU would win the football game. I mean, you just have it like that. I mean, it's just common sense. It's simple to get. Tennessee fans are going through it right now, which makes me happy. They don't really have a chance at the college football. I see these Tennessee fans on Twitter saying if this happens and this happens, we're back in it. I highly doubt it. You got 63 put on you by South Carolina. I don't think Tennessee really has a chance anymore. LSU just has that chance because they can win in the SEC championship and beat the number one team in college football. Because with LSU winning the SEC championship, they're not only beating the winning the SEC championship, but they're beating the number one team in college football. So you have that. But yeah, so a lot to happen. You're talking about an LSU team that has the potential to go to a national championship after not just in that. I mean, national championship rare. I mean, unlikely to happen. I'm saying this as an LSU fan with LSU bias. Unlikely to happen, but you're talking about LSU getting into the college football playoff after losing to Florida State, after getting dominated by Tennessee, and they come back to have a really good season, and it could happen. It could happen. And again, if you have any comments, if there's anything you want me to mention, leave it down below. I'd really like to answer some questions. If you're a Tennessee or TCU or USC, whatever fan, and you want to debate me, let me know. I'd love to debate someone right now. If you have a different viewpoint than me, I'd love to have a good debate. But I mean, obviously I'm right, so there's really no reason to debate me. But and I've looked at it through the other viewpoints. Let's just say my name is Grant Reynolds, and I'm a TCU fan, and I'm looking at it like this. Oh, well, our team is undefeated. Yada yada yada. But then, if I'm a TCU fan, and I'm not just saying this as an LSU fan, but if my name's Grant Reynolds and I'm a TCU fan, I have to look at my schedule and I have to see who I have beat, and do I deserve to be in the college football playoffs when I beat nobody? If you're a conference champion, maybe, but yeah. I mean, you just gotta have to look at it like that. Like, who have you played? And so these teams can get competitive. Let them play. Like, schedule out good teams. So when you do beat them, there's no excuse that you shouldn't be in. Schedule better teams. That's all I have to say for now. That's all I have to say for this video. I'm gonna make another video again this week, kind of talking about it, because it is very frustrating to see people, LSU versus the world, pretty much, because the world's coming down on LSU and people are not liking these rankings. I could care less about these rankings. I don't really care that LSU's number 5. Like I said, I like it in the sense that it shows that we've progressed throughout the season a bunch, but again, it really doesn't matter right now. And none of this matters until all these teams really finish off their season, play their conference champions, and then you see who the real winners are. But that's it for now. If you like this video, please leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. Let me know if you want to, if you have a question or a statement, put it down there. And thank you for watching. And as always, go Tigers.